This is my presentation on Mongolian culture. This is a dish, well, I'm starting with food of the country. This first image shows a traditional Mongolian dish named Guriltai, if I got that right. This dish is basically mutton soup. Now here, this dish is named Buell. It's very similar to dumplings, but unlike dumplings, it's spicier. Okay. And Buell is flour dough filled with either shredded beef or shredded lamb. It could be either. Here, Korlhog is a lamb cooked in a pot with onions, carrots, and potatoes over a fire. Usually that would sound very bland, but the smoke, being cooked over a fire gives it more taste. This is Suvian. Suvian is noodles cooked with an assortment of vegetables such as onions and carrots. It has a very unique taste to it, many people say. Boudog looks very not good, but um, Boudog is a cooked whole goat with potatoes and onions cooked inside, and some people say hot rocks inside. It doesn't look very appetizing, but it is said to have a very good taste and a very good smell. Mongolia is a Buddhist country, by the way. Now we're going to religion. For the most part, it is Buddhist, and over 50% of the population is Buddhist. Mongolian Buddhism is very similar to Tibetan Buddhism, but has many unique characteristics of its own. Takes different parts of other forms of Buddhism, puts it into itself. 40% of the country is non-religious, which is probably due to religion becoming less popular nowadays in newer generations, and also the fact that they were once a communist country and the government um, sort of suppressed religion. Mongolian Buddhism has many monks and very, very beautiful temples there. People pray a lot. It's usually if one person in a family is Buddhist, probably the parents are also yeah. Here, okay, now let's go to work ethics. Work ethics in Mongolia are very strong, like in some other Asian countries, Many in Mongolia just provide for themselves, especially in the western part, in the southern, and most of the country, because hey, almost half the population lives in the capital. So, um, most of the jobs in Mongolia are natural resource related jobs or agriculture jobs. Agriculture jobs are mostly for the family, though, and all. But service jobs are beginning to go up. Mongolian labor code states that the hours per work week shall not exceed 40 hours, which is really interesting because in some other Asian countries, many people are overworked, but in Mongolia, that's not the case. In recent years, there has been an increase in office jobs in Mongolia too. So in service and office jobs, but mainly in the city area of Ulaanbaatar, the capital. Here, women and men in Mongolia are more equal than most Asian countries, especially East Asian countries. And Mongolia is said to have the most gender equality in East Asia, which is really interesting. There are many different organizations in the country that's main goals is to promote gender equality. Unlike some other nations, there are many organizations, and in this image, for example, that's an organization giving a speech on gender equality in the country. Very interesting. Now here, Mongolia has 7 main holidays, and I'll talk about 3 of them because everyone knows of New Year's, International Women's Day. I'm not going to talk about Lunar New Year because that's sort of like other Asian holidays, and same thing Mother and Children's Day is just for Mongolia, but you sort of already know what it's about. Nadam is a holiday festival. It's a festival celebrated from July 11th to July 15th, and it's funded by the Mongolian government. The holiday is a day when many Mongolian people come together and they practice traditional dances and traditional things from their country. and also compete in sports and different competitions. Some people say it's only for tourists, but it's really not. It's a day when people come together, they have fun. Here, as you can see, this is Genghis Khan's birthday. That's pretty self-explanatory, but it's a pretty new holiday, by the way. Only starting in 2012 because that was his 850th birthday. And this image is on that day. Soldiers get next, or like soldiers go to his statue and march. So, yeah, it's a fairly new holiday, only beginning in 2012. Now, here it is Mongolian Independence Day. This holiday is celebrated, um, well, on Mongolians' Independence Day, which is on December 29th. So, yeah. It's celebrated on December 29th, and yeah. it's the holiday only started in 2011. Also pretty new. Mongolian holidays seem to be very new. Um, and yeah, that's really it's Mongolia's Independence Day, and and soldiers march throughout the capital on this day too. Mongolia's social structure. Now, Mongolia doesn't have much of a social structure compared to how it used to be in the Mongol Empire, where you would have four main social classes. But instead, this is sort of the new, or like other countries have the same social class. You have the upper class, upper middle class, working poor, and underclass. Yeah. Now, most people in the country are either working class or lower middle class. So, as you can see, it's a developing country. There's not going to be too many people in the upper middle class. There's not too many people in the underclass either, which is pretty good. So yeah, that's the Mongolian social structure. Now, this is a Mongolian wedding. Mongolian weddings are very unique and have so many sets of rules. I can make a whole 10-minute, 20-minute video discussing about it. So, in Mongolian weddings, the bride's family gives. Okay, this is just simple. The simple gist of it, or just some parts of it. So, in Mongolian weddings, the bride's family gives livestock, and the groom's family gives clothing and jewelry. Traditional Mongolian weddings are very unique and complex, as I said. Like in the US, newlyweds get presents. Also, they have a big feast where they have lots of traditional Mongolian dishes. It's very interesting. And this image shows how unique a traditional Mongolian wedding is. Yeah. This has been my presentation on Mongolian culture.